Welcome back. All right, Dwayne, hearing quite a bit of old crops still in the bins for some farmers. What is your advice considering we are just now really heading into this summer market when weather can have an impact on the markets?
Actually, I'd be a holder right now, Tyne. I mean, these prices aren't what farmers wanted, right? And like we talked about in the previous segment, the market action has been good this last week. So I like what we're sitting here doing. It's one of those actually quiet times in my office because with the low prices and me being somewhat bullish, the do nothing comes out quite a bit. So I'd be a holder. I really don't like the way these bull spreads have acted. The July D's corn spread, I can't believe it fell as hard as it did, but we're seeing some support now. According to USDA, old crop stocks are actually tight. So the basis should start improving very soon. If it doesn't in the next month, then I guess maybe last year's crop size is just bigger than anticipated.
Brian, let's get into a little bit of the technicals here, okay? Because what are fund positions at the moment in corn and wheat? And if we do have a weather scare this summer, what could that mean?
Yeah, funds are short, both corn and wheat, and the addition to the recent selling in corn has them down about 85,000 contracts to the size of their fund short. That's about how short the funds were last year at this time of year, except last year we were making highs. So we were just coming off of a record fund short. They covered some of that to about where the fund positioning is currently. But I think it's a little bit of a different setup. Last year they were talking 2.2 type of a carryout for new crop corn. Now it's 1.8. To Dwayne's point, I think the old crop stocks of corn are going to continue to be adjusted lower, just again, based on our export pace that we have right now. And then you throw wheat in the mix, and wheat export sales this week, fantastic for new crop, the highest in 12 years for this week. We've got dryness in a lot of areas globally. You talk about Ukraine, they're supposed to get some rain, but it's been hot and dry. It's getting hot and dry in Russia. China's hot and dry, so there's going to be an effect on their crops. So just globally, there is a lot of concern about weather. So with the fund short in wheat is not just hard red wheat, it's not just soft red, it's not just spring wheat. They've got heavy positions in all three, but they're also short French Matif wheat. So basically every class of wheat out there, the funds are short. And if we get a little reason to get this market to go, start making some new highs for the month of May, get out through some resistance, I think you could see some pretty strong technical short covering, and that would lend to the corn market. But there's a lot of statistics rolling around on corn, and we've yet to revisit the spring average price for crop insurance. So I think at the very least in the next 30 to 45 days, we're going to see that level. But I would say you got a lot of highs in December corn that are all stacked, and these are major monthly and yearly highs that are all stacked within 10 to 15 cents of each other. So if there is a weather story that really develops, I think this market could go slice through these major levels very quickly, and we can get into a bull market. But big picture, it's got to take weather and a disturbance to do that.
Dwayne, let's switch over to cattle because cattle prices did see some resistance. Last week, we moved above that 10-day moving average this week as we head into this peak demand season for summer, the unofficial kickoff to grilling season. Do you expect more volatility?
Yeah, probably. This cattle market has been crazy. We did have a key reversal there, and I should let Brian talk the technicals, but we did have a key reversal here recently. But we've had like 3 or 4 of those key reversals in the cattle market, and I thought all of them were at top because we are at unbelievably high record prices. The volatility will probably continue. The supply and demand, the fundamentals are just bullish. Cash cattle trading a little bit higher this past week again. That rallied the market late in the week. But those key reversals are still out there and holding. I'm one that it's hard to predict this cattle market, but my feeling is, gosh, guys, it's so high. Does it really matter what Dwayne Bussey thinks of the cattle market? I think you need to hedge these price levels and protect the profits you have.
Brian, technically, when you look at the charts, do you think there's room to move even higher?
Well, we talked about, or Dwayne mentioned that reversal, and technicals are not just for me, Dwayne. Anybody can talk about them. So, I don't own them. But yeah, we had that reversal. We're still holding that reversal. One of the concerns for me on the recovery in cattle is that it's live cattle. The feeder cattle have just not been able to get going quite as much as the live cattle have on this bounce. The market gapped lower in the feeder cattle where live cattle did, and that gap is still holding. So we'll see if we can get some further recovery. But it's just a pattern that we've seen before. You get a sharp futures break, then cash is still higher than futures. The cash market doesn't break with futures. And then everybody's sitting here saying, why are we short futures when cash is back up there? So most of the contacts I have think that the cash is going to continue to stay strong, continue to move higher. And if that's the case, every time you get the futures to see one of these big breaks, it's going to get bought. So whether it's the high, these reversals have at least led to some short-term highs, but we haven't seen the high on any of these reversals yet. Can we continue to go higher? Absolutely. I'm not going to say that a market can't do something. We had crude oil trade negative $40. So can cattle keep on pushing? Why not?
Yeah, good point. Brian, Dwayne, thank you so much for joining us. We need to take a quick break and then we'll check in with Machinery Pete for Tractor Tales next.